Welcome back to the GSL Code S. Super is through the round of 16, and now we're going into our losers match between Bomber and YongHwa.
Now you got to keep in mind here, guys, there's only one person left. We have 15 players in the round of 16. It's down to these 3 players.
Yeah, one of these 3 are going to be the lucky ones to move on.
Sue, Bomber, or YongHwa.
Yeah.
That's what's so incredible about Code S is like, really? Bomber might be out right now?
Yeah, he could be out.
A tournament that's so hard that YongHwa never gets deep in this?
It's so hard to
YongHwa's barely ever been in this.
Exactly. And, you know, the cool part about this is we have one player from each race left here. We've got one Terran, one Protoss, and one Zerg left. So, you know, whatever race you play, whatever race you cheer for, you better be cheering right now because we're about to find out the last round of 16 player here. YongHwa and Bomber sitting here looking ready. Frost is map number 1.
Now, YongHwa, again, somebody who everybody was saying, oh, watch out, YongHwa is going to be a Code S champion one day. You just got to wait. He'll get there. Never happened 3 years later.
Yeah.
Bomber just recently became a champion.
Very true.
Is Bomber going to move on up and YongHwa be out, or is YongHwa going to change history here?
Let's find
today.
out.
Don't forget, guys, the winner will go on to the final match here against Sue as they all compete for the final spot in the round of 16 GSL Code S.
You can tell I'm excited for the way my heart is beating. I'm gonna need a riot squad to help control my breathing.
In the bottom right, will this be his GSL? He is.
LGIM YongHwa.
YongHwa, talented player, never made it. Not yet.
No, not yet. In the bottom left, a champion. Can he do it again? He is.
Startail Bomber.
Hi, Wolf.
Hey.
We haven't cast together in so long. This is fun.
It's been a really good cast, and I'm enjoying it. Good games, too.
Yep, great games here. You really can't go wrong, though, when you get 32 of these quality players, you know.
Best players in the world here in this tournament.
Yep, best players in the world. So again, our map, it's going to be Frost.
Yeah,
there is a small bridge at the bottom of this map.
We talked about how this map can be either vertical or horizontal sometimes, and that can lead to completely different games because horizontally the rush distance is so much shorter than vertically, or even cross.
Yeah, it's very true.
And so Bomber appears to be going for a CC first, taking a risk here.
And this probe is actually scouting directly towards Bomber's base, so there will be some SCV harassment that'll be pulled off here.
Yeah, that's very lucky scout here by YongHwa. You know, he's got a 1 in 3 chance, and he guessed right. So this is going to be very annoying for Bomber. Probably does not expect this probe to be coming this early.
So this probe will come out here and probably just attack this SCV. Anything you can do really to slow down the Terran. So that's an annoying moment here. He'll have to send down another SCV here.
Yeah, even a third SCV will probably have to come here.
Yep. And now this SCV is going to defend the other SCV.
Not losing a single hit point on that probe.
Yeah, really nicely done.
You can never get a probe's hit points back once they're gone.
That's true. That's a permanent scar. And you can see the shields are already regenerating. Oh, 1 hit, though, on it. Double Racks comes up next. Now, Bomber is a macro player. He has cheese from time to time, but generally speaking, he wants to get to the end game. He's just mechanically superior to most of his opponents.
Yeah.
Now, he did dominate, though, when Hellbats were big.
Yeah, he was really good with the Hellbats. And the patch came out, and he was practicing only Hellbats. Still was able to get his win after the Hellbats were nerfed.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that, to be totally honest. I was like, really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's just such a great player to change how he thinks about the game on a dime like that. We have a really nice response by YongHwa pulling out of gas to get the faster Nexus up here. And what we saw already from Bomber in the previous series was that he wants to hit that SCV pull before Storm is ready, and that's been his strategy so far.
We could see it again. I mean, the strategy is actually very strong, although I got to say, as far as execution goes, Bomber has been a little bit lackluster on that. I mean, you need the SCVs to be in the front to sponge up the damage, so the Marines and Marauders stimmed in the back deal the damage to eventually overwhelm the Protoss. But instead, no, it's been totally bungled.
He totally botched it. And the timings were a little bit off, and it just seemed like Super knew that Bomber was going to attack him that way and went for a much, much faster Colossus production, did not switch. And look at this. This is something completely different than what we've seen at all today, is a fast Twilight Council here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Could be for DTs just to put
maybe?
some pressure on, I think. He doesn't have a Robo for Warp Prism action, but Blink
That's what I was going to bring up. I was like, I would hope he get a Robo if he's going to do this, you know?
Yeah, Blink on this map not quite as strong as some of our other maps, so I would,
We'll see.
I would think
Well,
it's DTs.
it is a pretty big main. I mean, you could blink up in there and do a lot of damage, but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Gateway's on the way here. It's got the gases coming up. Again, Bomber with this greedy build here, untouched so far. He actually put those Marines in position so that they would spot the Observer, which would be coming in right about a little bit after now, actually.
Yeah, and it's also perhaps even more likely he's using it for anti-Oracle because he hasn't scouted anything, you know, and around 6 minutes, Oracle flies in there.
Oh, yeah.
Also serves a
Good
dual
call.
purpose against the Observer, so good choice to put those in there like
killing
that.
2 birds with 1 stone there. eBay on the way here in the Tech Lab just now completes.
So he's going to be going for the follow-up that we talked about before that he didn't actually do, where you get the fast +1 and the stim, and go for a Marine heavy push to hurt your opponent early on. YongHwa, on the other hand, putting a forward pylon up here because he wants to get these DTs in, and Bomber has not made any turrets previously, so he actually may get away with this and just literally walk into the front door.
Yeah, you know, Bomber, he can be a little bit greedy, and I understand why, because if his greed pays off, he's not stoppable. But I'm also a little bit surprised by YongHwa doing this build here. I was not expecting something like this. Warp Prism on the way out here.
Yeah.
No, he's going to warp in the first few DTs, send to the front. He'll split them off.
Here's what I think he's going to do. He's going to warp the DTs in the south pylon and just pick them up. He warps in 2 actually at the front. I don't know how much I like this because this actually sets off the alarms in Bomber's head where he's trying to save scans. And wow, he barely gets it. Second one is going to be picked up in the Warp Prism, it looks like.
Man, that was close. All right, yeah, so he's going to come down here. Yeah, I agree. This build is weirdly timed, you know? It's like you're going to make DTs and then send them to the front, and then by the time there's going to be a turret done in the main.
He should have, in my opinion, gone for, you know, the DTs with the warp in at the main base and at the natural by walking. That way that Bomber doesn't have this panic moment where he makes all the turrets, because this DT is going to do very limited damage because there's already a turret in place. He may kill a few Marines because they're just outside of the range, but he gets 1, and that's about going to be it.
This is completely ineffective.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll pick up and leave, but, I mean, YongHwa investing all of his resources into this. Oh, I like that, though, keeping the DT there. This just doesn't seem like a powerful strategy, you know?
Yeah. And with the DTs still in the main base, yes, that can be a threat later on. But it affects his Colossus timing, his blinks, his upgrades for his units, which means the timings that Bomber wanted to hit initially with a +1 and stim are even stronger than they were before because he's going to save scans when he goes.
Here comes the SCV coming back into the base. I don't even know why I play-by-played that.
He's going in.
He's going in. He got back home okay.
Could he get up the ramp?
Now he's going to keep this Warp Prism here, so if Terran leaves, he could punish him. And, yeah, I mean, right now, YongHwa has to play economy.
Yeah, he does. And
he's, by the way, this army is now pushing out.
He needs to basically, he needs to defend this attack.
DT. The DT's going to go into the mineral line.
Yep. He's actually undetected so far. 5 kills and walks out of range. Forces scan.
Well, just now finishing. Would have been handy if that finished before that. But, you know, there might not be enough to defend here at the front. It's just a few Stalkers, Zealots, and a Colossus.
Yeah, 1 Colossus. He has to split here because there's a drop in the main. Where is the Photon Overcharge? He's a little bit late here, and there are going to be so many probes killed in the natural.
Oh, nice. Shooting down the medevac there, and now recalling over here. Really nice pull-out there by Bomber.
Yeah, that recall to the natural was a bit questionable. The units were already gone before he recalled there.
Well, I think that's what happened is he triggered the recall, then Bomber's like, oh, he's recalling here.
Yeah.
And that's when he ran out, because there's that small window of time where you couldn't see what they're doing. But Bomber has got a pretty good army now. I generally think it's unwise to try to do drop harass when one guy's on 2 base.
Yeah, you got to be careful about this.
3 base. Okay, Stimming backing up now. Now, there was a time warp there, but not one that was particularly effective. Oh,
I think he could have committed there with the Colossi a little bit more. He's just being careful.
Yeah. So he's just going to head back home now. Ghost Academy about to complete. And Bomber staying heavily on 2 bases right now.
Yeah, he's really
I was expecting him to have a third up by now, but instead he's not playing that game.
With this type of build, you really rush out this attack that's very heavy in Marines, but unfortunately he's not able to get anything else done because of those Colossi. The drop did 11 probes kills worth of damage, but now he's got to kind of hang back here for a second because the Colossus count is just too high for him to handle without more Vikings. Third Colossus joining the fray here, 2-2 on the way.
All right.
And I think
it looks like
he's going to take a third soon.
These guys are both powering so hard. Well, he hasn't made a command scenario. We would expect both of these players to have another base here, but they are staying on hardcore powering mode right now. Just chrono boosting these 2 forges here.
He's got
with the 2-2, he could have a pretty strong attack coming up.
Yeah, he's got a probe poised to take a third, but it could just be a fake in case Bomber checks for that.
Yeah, he scans it and he sees the probe and he's like,
Another DT drop here. Yeah, nicely done. He's just going to sneak in and harass him. Maybe draw some of those forces back.
What? It's stuck. It's on an attack command from something else.
There we go.
Now, yep. And I don't know. Bomber just now realizing what's going on.
Bomber's going to need those SCVs later for a push, potentially.
Probably. 160 to supply to 144, by the way. Charge being upgraded. Again, that 2-2 almost done now.
Bomber with about a 20 supply. Army lead
He's
here.
pulled the SCVs.
He's pulled them. And this attack has to do
Cleo
damage.
over here. All right. He does a scan here. He's going to see, okay, exactly what does he have. 3 Colossi. The Ghosts are going to come up here. And EMP, a preempted time warp because he knows the SCVs have been pulled. This is a really smart move here by YongHwa.
Yeah, he thought he might get a snipe by the Vikings too. So very nicely done. Second time warp is good here. I like the position for YongHwa. Huge stims. Those Bioforces going down so fast. And what are the Vikings doing? They're on move command.
The Vikings completely cleaning up the Colossi. And the Bio Ball might just be too strong. Now Colossi goes down. He can land those Vikings if he feels that's necessary.
Defensive DT is coming in here because he's hoping his opponent does not have any more scans. They are going to work here, and he does have a scan, but he has to use it now. A nice Archon to save the DTs.
Really good job there. He's going to need to take that Archon out. More reinforcements are coming in here. It's only Stalkers and Probes. The Probes being mowed down.
He needs to blink back and warp in a few more Zealots if he can. That next Colossus is almost everything here. Targeting down the Nexus now. The Stalkers start to fight. The Bioforce is so low on hit points. Another DT coming in.
This is going to be a GG here. A scan, killing off that DT, but YongHwa on 1 base. That SCV pulled just too good.
Yep, Bomber great at that SCV attack. Every single time going for it here, and it just tends to work out.
Definitely an improvement from his previous games. GG.
Yeah, GG.
Well done there by Bomber.
And this puts, unfortunately for YongHwa,
a little bit of a damper.
Yeah, he's got 1 life left here. He loses 1 more game, and it's all over.
Yep. Until he gets to level 2, the final match.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's when he gets enough points. He gets an extra life.
He gets a continue.
Yeah, I guess he gets his continue. That SCV pull strat is just so strong. There's just not a lot you can do against it.
I mean, the timings are so good for it, too. He always hits right while YongHwa's spent all of his money on his tech, but just does not have an Ari powered up. I mean, you hit that push 20 seconds later, it's a totally different story. Another Colossus, a few more Zealots. You with the 2-2 upgrades?
I think YongHwa was expecting Bomber to try to expand at some point in time, but Bomber was powering so hard. I think that attack he had, 170?
Yeah.
Supply? YongHwa was at, I believe, 144?
Yeah, something like that.
And held it, or did not hold it, excuse me. We're going to go to Belshir Vestige. What do you think?
Well,
Wolf, can YongHwa come back?
I think if he's picking Belshir Vestige, he's going to do an Immortal push, a Blink Stalker push, something different. He's not going to try to hold the third base against that Bomber SCV pull. The Mad Bomber SCVs.
Well, the game is now started up. As Wolf said, YongHwa, 1 life left, or he's out of extra lives, I guess you could say here. He has to win this game and the next. Bomber looking primed to go to the final match here. But who knows, anything can happen here at the GSL Code S.